Before we go too long, I'd like to discuss like the idea of descriptive and prescriptive theories. The idea of a descriptive theory is basically just it's a description of the way things are. A prescription is saying the way they should be, and it's also something called a normative theory. Now, descriptive theory, very simply, descriptive, describe, it describes things. And so a descriptive theory is nothing more than a theory that's scientific, typically, that describes the way the world is, the way people are, the way things are. And so that's a descriptive theory. A prescriptive theory, on the other hand, is a moralizing concept. It's the way things should be. They're called normative theories, the way what we would consider normal, or the way they should be, what is a prescription. You can think about it like your doctor. If your doctor gives you a prescription, usually we think of it as take this medicine. But in fact, a prescription can be things like your doctor can say, exercise more, eat less fatty foods, do that type of stuff. A prescription is not just a medicine. It's actually a suggestion, or it's actually a call for the way you should be doing things, the way you should be behaving. And so a description is simply telling what you are doing, and a prescription is saying what you should be doing. And so we have this in that idea that you have descriptions of the way the world is and prescriptions of the way the world should be. That, for example, I tend to eat a lot of fatty foods, I don't exercise all that much, etc. What I should do is eat a low-fat diet, heart healthy diet, and exercise at least, 30 minutes a day, good cardiovascular exercise. So, there's description and then there's prescription for the way things should be. Now, this then moves along, and typically the idea is that, if the world is a certain way, then that's natural. That if it's a description is describing the way it is, it's describing the natural world. And the fact that things occur naturally in a certain way at least gives us, while not necessarily a mandate to make them that way, it definitely gives us reason to think that we maybe should consider that that's the way they should be. That if the world is a certain way, if people, are inclined towards, behaving a certain way, acting a certain way, living a life a certain way, that we have to wonder if that natural, if we're naturally inclined to be that way, if there's not something that is right about it. That in the end, that the years and years of human development has led us to that being natural, and so that is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. There's some purpose. And so what they do is oftentimes descriptive theories become prescriptive theories. And that's essentially what's happening with relativism. With relativism, it starts off with a cultural relativism, which is an anthropological theory about the way the world is. And that comes from Ruth Benedict in our previous page. And the idea that the world is this way. And it's a descriptive theory. And then we move on to a ethical relativism, which is a prescriptive theory, saying, what? People are inclined to make up their morality based upon the group they're with, based upon their culture, and so that's what we should do, is we should just rely upon each culture to determine, and so it becomes a prescriptive theory. And so it moves from descriptive to prescriptive theory.